Hello everyone. In the video I uploaded recently looking at the Royal New Zealand Provost Corps Beret, I did mention that I also have an example of a Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment Beret in my collection and that I wanted to make a video of that in the not too distant future, and that's what we're going to have a look at here, is the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment Beret and cap badge. We're going to have a look at both in some detail now. So here it is, an example of the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment Beret. It's quite a distinctive green colour, a sort of moss green. There is probably an official term for this, but I haven't been able to locate it, so if anyone can fill in that gap in my knowledge in the comments, I'd be very interested to hear. But it is quite a distinctive green. It's quite dissimilar from the cypress green of the Intelligence Corps or rifle green of rifle regiments, or indeed the Commando Green Beret. It is quite a distinctive colour. See the cap badge here, and this is a metal example. There were also plastic examples of these. I'll remove this from the beret a little bit later on in the video so we can have a look at the details of the fixings on the back, but you can see it is enamelled. So we have the leaves around the outside in silver, the scroll and the crown in gold, and also the outline is in gold, the kiwi in the centre there, and Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment, the title around in the blue. The blue ring around the red enamelled centre there, as you can see. Really quite an attractive badge. I really like the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment badge. It's quite an attractive badge, as I say. This particular beret doesn't have any eyelets or anything, in contrast to the beret, the 1980s Royal New Zealand Provost Corps beret we looked at recently. The sweatband is also made of a different material. It's not made of the plastic, the pleather material we saw on the Provost Corps beret. It is in fact a woven cloth, as you can see here, black, I think probably nylon or polyester, certainly a man-made fabric. And we can see inside it is lined with a black lining, as you can see there. Originally, of course, would have had tapes around the inside the sweatband to draw this in. They have been removed in this instance, as you can see. And inside, you can see here the stamp, Army property, again a typical New Zealand marking, pure virgin wool, and made by Hills Hats Limited, again Wellington, New Zealand. And you can see here the date, hopefully you can see that there, 1994. 7 3/8, and this is just, unlike the previous beret we looked at, the Provost Corps beret, this one runs a little small. So the previous one was supposedly, I think, a 56, it fits me, and I'm not a 56, I'm a little bit larger than a 56. This is a 7 3/8, I'm about a 7 1/8, and this fits me, so it's been shrunk down, I presume, at some point. But again, this plastic here protecting the stamp in the crown, inside the crown there. If I remove the badge, we can have a look at this in a little bit more detail as well. Just carefully pry this off the beret. Something I should stress with this is that this is the colour used predominantly through the Cold War, and you see right the way through into the 1990s, this distinctive colour of beret. And this is the cap badge, as I say. There were also plastic examples which look just like this but made in plastic, which is an interesting part of the plastic badge story, which is something we've sort of discussed on the channel previously with Second World War British examples. We're looking at the back of this, you can see it is a multi-part badge as well. You can see that there. Details of the construction. So the leaves form the backing piece, and this section, centre section here, is a separate piece. And on the back, the lugs, which allow this to be attached using a split pin, formed from a strip of metal which is drilled at each end, attached, and then folded up at each end, as you can see there. And the split pin just passes through there to secure onto the beret. More traditional way of fixing these than we saw on the Provost Corps cap badge, which of course had pins and clutches to hold it in place. But that's just a look at this, the badge, the beret, the Royal New Zealand Infantry Regiment, the typical headgear through the Cold War and, as I say, into the 1990s. I believe the colour then changed. So that's a story perhaps for another video. Really goes outside my sort of area of collecting, an area of interest. But rather nice to have picked one of these up. They aren't all that common to find on the collector's market, so I'm very happy to have both the beret and the badge in the collection. So as ever, I do hope you found it interesting looking at that. There will be more videos looking at New Zealand kit going forward. Obviously digging through the box of bits and pieces always reminds me of what I have and what I'd like to talk about, so there will be more videos covering New Zealand kit in the not too distant future, all being well. If you'd like to see those, and indeed if you found this interesting, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And whether you're newly subscribing or you've previously subscribed, please do make sure you hit the little bell, the notification button down below. That will of course alert you when I upload future videos. If you really like my uploads and you would like to support the channel, you can. Both Patreon and PayPal are linked down below. And as I always say, a massive thank you to everybody who supports the channel using those two methods. It really is greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much indeed. If you'd like to follow the channel on social media, you can. Facebook, Instagram and Twitter are all linked down below. And of course, if you'd like to get in touch but you don't really use social media, there is an email address down there as well. That's everything for this video. So until next time, bye for now.